Newcastle's United Stadium is reaching a breaking point. Expanding is impossible and moving feels unthinkable. But what if there's a solution? A 70,000-seater in Leazes Park could change everything. Let's dive into why a new stadium is the way forward. Newcastle United isn't just your average mid-table club anymore, folks. Those days of fighting for survival in the Premier Leagues are long gone. Under ambitious ownership, the Magpies are now gunning for sustained Champions League football, domestic trophies, and why not, global recognition. Sounds great, right? Well, there's just one tiny issue. St. James's Park is absolutely not ready for this kind of league. Let's talk numbers. St. James Park currently holds just over 52,000 fans. Now, that might seem like a decent number, but hold on. Every single game, tickets sell out in minutes. Yeah, minutes. It's like trying to get your hands on the latest iPhone on release day. The demand for tickets is insane. Fans would probably camp out in the streets for a chance to get in, if only they could. And yet, every single match day, thousands of die-hard Geordies are left standing outside watching the match from the pub, or heaven forbid, watching it on TV. How frustrating, right? And let's not forget, even if they're facing footballing equivalent of a traffic cone, aka lower league opposition, St. James Park is packed to the brim. The appetite for more seats, more capacity is undeniable. You just can't ignore it. This is a club that wants to grow, heck, needs to grow. But this is where things really get fun. Any attempt to expand St. James Park? Oh boy, that's like trying to fit a giraffe into a Mini Cooper. The East Stand is surrounded by listed buildings. Those things are like ancient treasure chests, protected by every law under the sun. The Gallagate end is up against city center infrastructure that's not going anywhere. Every plan to extend the stadium, they crumble faster than your New Year's resolutions. Let's face it, expanding St. James Park, not happening. So, what's the solution? Well, buckle up, because here comes Leazes Park, the shiny new prospect that's stirring up all kinds of excitement. Will it be the answer to Newcastle's growing pains, or is it just another fantasy we can throw into a pile of dreams that didn't come true? Well, it's time to find out. The Telegraph just dropped a bombshell that's going to have Newcastle United fans buzzing for weeks, months even. Buckle up, because this is big. According to their sources, the board is all in on a plan to build a £1.2 billion, 70,000-seat stadium in Leazes Park. And no, this isn't some far-off fantasy of moving the club to a generic stadium in the middle of nowhere. This is next door. Yes, next door, just beyond St. James Park. It's so close you can almost feel the adrenaline of that match day atmosphere already. Let's think about this for a second. Imagine a stadium state-of-the-art with cutting-edge everything. I mean, this isn't just a new set of seats and a fresh coat of paint. We're talking about a sleek, modern fortress of football, rising just beyond St. James Park, staying within the heart of the city. No, we're not talking about moving to the outskirts of Newcastle or, God forbid, Sunderland. Can you imagine? That'd be the equivalent of trading in a Ferrari for a tricycle. No thanks. This ensures that the soul of the club stays right where it belongs, in the heart of the city, next to the passionate fans who live and breathe every match. And here's where it gets really exciting. Hold on to your hat. The transition could be seamless. Yes, you heard that right. The earlier proposals suggest that the new stadium could be built and St. James Park stays open. Let that sink in. While the Magpies continue to play in front of you, their die-hard supporters, the new stadium will be under construction right next door. Talk about a slick move. Sure, there might be a season or two with reduced capacity, but who cares? You're still watching the team you love. And not to mention, you don't have to travel miles away to some random town and pretend it's still home. The team stays in the city, the fans stay loyal. How cool is that? But of course, this isn't just about digging a hole and stacking some bricks. No. There is red tape, and lots of it. Think council approvals, conservation concerns, you know the drill. Leazes Park isn't just any old plot of land. It's got historical significance. So it's going to take a bit of patience and paperwork. But here's the kicker. Money talks, and Newcastle's owners, well, they got more money than all of us could ever dream of. And when it comes to making this happen, you better believe they've got the clout to bulldoze through those bureaucratic hurdles. They've already proven they've got the vision and drive to take the club to the next level, and this stadium is part of that next level ambition. Sure, it's not happening tomorrow or next week or even next month, but make no mistake, this is the future. The location is perfect, the demand for a bigger stadium is insane, and let's face it, Newcastle deserves something that matches its ambition. This isn't just about increasing capacity, it's about setting the club up for decades of success. It's about putting Newcastle on the map as a true European powerhouse. So, what do you think? Are you ready for this? Because it is coming, and when it does, The only thing you're going to regret is not getting a season ticket now, before the stadium becomes the hottest ticket in town. Some fans still cling to the hope of expanding St. James Park. But let's face it, every rational argument points to the harsh reality that it's just not going to happen. It's like hoping your childhood bike magically turns into a Ferrari. Nice thought, but no, that's not happening. East Stand is trapped by listed buildings. You know, those charming pieces of history that make Newcastle unique. Yeah, well, demolishing them to make space for more seats, that's not a quick fix. That's a bureaucratic nightmare. And let's be real, Newcastle isn't going to win a battle in heritage protection. So, what are you left with? A stand that can't go anywhere. The Gallowgate end could, in theory, be extended. In theory, sure, but that would require a complex engineering overhaul. And when I say complex, I mean mind-bending, wallet-draining, and honestly totally impractical. We're talking about redesigning foundations, tackling safety regs, and spending a fortune just to get things up to code. And for what? More seats wouldn't make St. James any bigger than the other club stadiums, so no thanks, it's just not worth the hassle. A 60,000-seat St. James would still be smaller than Arsenal's Emirates. That's right, 60,000 seats. And it would be tiny compared to what clubs like Arsenal have. Not to mention it'd pale in comparison to the ambition that Newcastle's owners have for the club. A 60,000-seat stadium might sound good on paper, but let's be honest, it's not setting the world on fire. Newcastle wants more than that. They want something that screams global powerhouse, not just a bigger version of what they already have. Even Eddie Howe, while laser-focused on getting results on the pitch, knows that the future success of the club isn't just about winning. It's about sustainable growth, and what better way to solve the constant headache of FFP than a brand new stadium generating record-breaking revenue? We're talking about a venue that can pack in tens of thousands of fans, offer top-tier facilities and amenities that bring in serious cheddar year in and year out. That's the kind of solution the club needs if it's serious about competing at this high level. So, there you have it. St. James Park, as much as we all love it, has hit its limit. It served the club well, but the future lies in a shiny new stadium that can meet the needs of the ambitious club Newcastle has become. Newcastle's January transfer window was, well, let's be honest, underwhelming. No big signings, no headline-grabbing moves, just a lot of talk about FFP restrictions and tough financial decisions. Great, the club's spending power is being choked by revenue limitations and it's getting a little old now. But here's where the magic happens. A brand new stadium. Picture this, a shiny state-of-the-art 70,000-seater stadium. This isn't just about more seats, it's about transforming the whole financial landscape of the club. This could be the move that takes Newcastle from trying to squeeze on the margins of FFP to calling the shots when it comes to money. Let's break it down, shall we? 1. More matchday revenue. Let's start with the obvious. More seats equals more people. A 70,000-seat stadium means loads more fans packed in every week. And what do more fans mean? More cash. Think about it. More tickets sold, more merch, more food, more drinks, you get the idea. We're talking a huge boost in game day revenue, and we all know Newcastle fans are going to fill that place. Demand's sky high, and with this new stadium, it could be off the charts. 2. More corporate hospitality income. Now, let's get into the corporate side of things. This isn't just about fans in the stands, it's about those luxury suites, VIP boxes, and exclusive areas for companies to get their hands on. Big brands love associating with success, and a stadium like this is a beacon for success. So naturally, more corporate hospitality income. Companies will still want a piece of that action, and who can blame them? Everyone wants to be in the room with the cool kids, right? 3. More leverage in commercial deals. And here's where things get really interesting, sponsorships and commercial deals. With a 70K seat stadium, Newcastle suddenly be in a prime position to negotiate serious lucrative deals. We're talking major global sponsors, bigger merchandise deals, and exposure on a much bigger scale. A stadium this size puts Newcastle on the map, not just in the UK, but internationally. It's about leveraging that new global profile to bring in the big bucks. The long-term play. Look, I know we're just talking about the long term here, but this isn't just some pipe dream. It is necessary. If Newcastle ever wants to compete with the big boys, they need to get serious about their financing. Take a look at Manchester United and their game day revenue from Old Trafford. It obliterates what Newcastle makes right now. But imagine Newcastle with a bigger, massive stadium. Absolute game changer. That's the kind of move that gives the Magpies the financial clout that they need to finally compete on a level playing field. So, what's it going to be? More of the same, scraping by with FFP rules? Or does Newcastle want to break free and dominate? A new stadium could be exactly what they need to step up and leave the small-time financial struggles behind. Some fans even believe that 70,000 seats might not be enough, and honestly, they've got a point. Newcastle United has one of the most die-hard fan bases in world football. Seriously, these fans are next-level passion. Just look how St. James Park fills up even when the opposition's in from the lower leagues. Whether it's a cup game or a mid-table clash, the place is packed to the gills. So, can you imagine the man when it's Champions League nights or title deciders, or, dare I say it, a cup final push? That's a whole other ballgame. Could Newcastle push for 80,000 seats, maybe even 90,000? In a perfect world, absolutely. Can you picture it? A colossal state-of-the-art stadium with fans singing their hearts out, creating an atmosphere so electric that it gives other premier clubs serious stadium envy. It's the stuff dreams are made of. But hold on, because practicality quickly reminds us that it's not quite that simple. Yes, we all want more seats, but let's not get carried away. Expanding beyond 70,000 seats likely means taking over all of Leazes Park. And my friend, that's where the problem starts. In theory, the idea sounds great, but the execution? A legal nightmare waiting to happen. I'm talking council meetings, red tape, protests, and a whole lot of angry locals who aren't too keen on having their park turned into a football fortress. You think taking over an entire park doesn't come with 100 different obstacles? Think again. There's only so much room in that part of Newcastle, and tearing up Leazes Park would cause a storm of controversy. For now, 70,000 seems like the perfect middle ground. Big enough to satisfy the demand of Newcastle's loyal fan base while still being a realistic target. It's ambitious, but not too ambitious. This isn't a case of dreaming too big and then watching it all crumble under the weight of too many what-ifs. No, this is a stadium that can be built, approved, and used for years to come. It strikes the perfect balance, big enough to send a message, but small enough to actually get done, and that's the key. A 70,000-seat stadium is more than just a number. It's a solution that makes sense in the long run, both practically and financially. For Newcastle, it's the perfect way to balance ambition with reality. You want to compete with the big boys? Well, here's the first step. No need for a 90,000-seat monstrosity to make a statement when 70,000 will do the job just fine. If Newcastle moves forward with this plan, fans shouldn't be expecting a shiny new stadium anytime soon. Sure, it sounds great on paper, but there's a little thing called time, and let's just say it's not going to be an overnight transformation. According to The Telegraph, the target completion date for the new stadium is 2030 or 31. That's right, folks, 2030 or 2031. So buckle up, because this is going to be a long-term project. Here's what the timeline actually means. A few years of legal wrangling, public consultations, and securing approvals. Oh yes, the red tape is coming. You can bet there will be endless debates, protests, probably a couple council meetings that drag on for way longer than anyone wants, but it's a necessary evil, but it's still going to be a pain. A few more years of actual construction. Even when the approvals come in, don't expect bulldozers to start rolling in the next few months. Construction will take years as they need to build a stadium of 70,000 seats integrated into the surrounding area and deal with, well, all the logistical nightmares that come with building a modern football fortress. No big deal, right? A phased move from St. James's Park to the new ground. Let's not forget, they got to move out of St. James Park and into this shiny new arena. It's not going to be a simple flip-the-switch kind of deal. They'll need to phase the move to avoid putting the club in a jam, and that'll probably mean a couple of seasons with reduced capacity. But hey, at least they won't be playing in exile like other clubs might do during relocation. And here's the wild card. Newcastle's part of the UK's bid to host Euro 2028. Could the new stadium be ready in time for the tournament? That's a tough decision. Logistics are a mess, and there's lots of things could go wrong. But if there's one thing we know, it's that the long-term vision is clear. It's all about big ambitions, and Newcastle's owners are determined to make this happen, even if it means waiting a bit longer. The future's looking bright, but it's going to be a long ride to get there. Change is never easy, especially when it involves something as sacred as St. James Park. The idea of leaving the hallowed grounds, even if it's just a few hundred meters, is enough to send a chill down the spine of any traditionalist. After all, who wants to abandon history? But let's be real for a sec here. This isn't just about turning our backs on the past. It's about securing the future, taking the club to the next level where it belongs. So why a new stadium? Why in Leazes Park? Well, here's the reality. More fans inside the ground. A 70,000-seat stadium means more rooms for the Geordie faithful. Imagine the noise, the passion, the intensity, with 70,000 Magpie fans packed in. If you thought St. James was electric, just wait till this new arena's filled to the brim. The atmosphere will be off the charts. More revenue. Let's not kid ourselves. Newcastle's finances are chained by financial fair play restrictions. But a new, bigger stadium, that's going to bring in more revenue. That means breaking free from those shackles. More fans means more matchday income, which equals more room to breathe financially. This is the type of financial freedom Newcastle needs to thrive in the modern game. a club positioned for sustained European football. Let's face it, Newcastle's ambitions aren't just about staying in the Premier League or winning the occasional cup. This club wants Champions League nights, season after season. A bigger stadium allows for more commercial opportunities, bigger sponsorships, and the kind of visibility that will help Newcastle compete on the European stage year in and year out. What's the alternative? Stagnation. Watching other clubs pull ahead, getting bigger, while we cling to nostalgia in an aging stadium that no longer serves the club's needs. And that's not the vision. This project isn't about disrespecting the past. It's about building a future that matches the ambition we all share. Let's get real. If we want to keep up with the big guys, we need to think big. A 70,000-seat Leazes Park Stadium isn't just a vision, it's essential. Love it or hate it, it is happening. So are you ready? We're committed to bringing you 2 videos every week. So like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more visionary builds.